There's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer.
Yes, this one's a screamer. I have no idea why. Okay, anyways, I got it. They've changed the way that the scenes work, and they don't do an automatic blah, blah, blah. We'll figure it out. And welcome, everybody, to another crazy shite. And we're going over Agartha, the hidden inner earth kingdom, blah, 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 with the Tartarians, I believe, is who is in this. So let's go ahead and... I want to do that later. Let's do it for a bit. Okay, stop. Pause. There we go. Okay, sorry, everybody. I know that was in the background. You didn't see that. Let's go ahead and bring in our... Oh, Ned, we don't have an intro for you yet. Jesus Christ. We'll figure that out in the near future. Son of a bitch. I feel dumb about that. We should have already had one of those set up. But let's go ahead and bring in our co-host and... our newest stream, Perv.
But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Yes, I guess you're right.
Yes, I guess you're right. Okay.
Howdy.
How y'all doing? Okay, let me put it this way so we are all even, because I did not... But Ned, we'll have to do an intro, or send me an intro that's like 15 seconds long or something that you would like us to do for your thingies of the bobbers. Anyways, how y'all doing?
Yep, pretty good. I had a nice nap. So
Good, glad to hear.
I actually got something that I think is worth promoting. I think the Kentucky Atheist is doing.
Okay, do it.
I've got a little video. Is that this one? Wait, that.
Today at the bar, I found out how I can tell if people are Trumpanites or not by giving them my sticker. I had a couple people that were like, I really don't really like that sticker. And I'm like, yeah, you're not on our team. Fuck you. Hell yeah, Aaron Raw is fucking amazing. Oh, Meta is fucking amazing as well. Same with Meta Summit, and then Vice Rhino. Of course, I just mentioned there. Killer, Rarity, yep. The Skeptic. Yes, Chris Mallard. Okay, so what?
They are gonna do an Ark Encounter protest again. Oh,
how long is it?
No, that was the whole thing.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Definitely.
It ought to play the next video for fucking reason.
And I know, Ivy. We're gonna get on top of that in the next couple of days. I'm sorry that we have not done all of that yet. But anyways, let's say hello to some chats, and we have our Stop the Stupid.
Hey, stop! What's up?
And that's it. As of right now, for some reason.
Oh, and Ivy, yeah.
NIV.
That's the whole fucking side chat.
But we'll get people in here in a minute or two or five or something.
Gotta love that daytime saving. Because
yeah, well,
I don't get that people have so much trouble with it. I really don't.
Do y'all do daylight savings still?
Yeah, we do it.
Because somebody the other day was saying, oh, we're the only place in the world that does daylight savings. And I was like, are we? But I didn't look it up because I was at the bar trying to flirt with her and trying to take her home. So I wasn't going to say no. But I was like, are we?
No, we do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, but that's why this morning that I put it in this in Decima course, because I was like, do people not know yet? And I like, is yours a 2 weeks different, or did it start yesterday?
Yeah, I knew because it was mentioned on streams, but also I would have have forgotten it tonight. I would have been like, oh yeah, go take a nap, and then I'm getting a message from Slim like, "Hey, where the fuck are you?"
Does it happen for y'all the same time? Because I thought y'all did it like
No.
2 weeks different.
I think we
Yeah,
do
we're
later.
going the 30th, if I'm not mistaken, the last Sunday of the month.
Oh,
Okay, so yesterday is when we did ours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then I thought Pippa Marooney said like it was 2 weeks difference for her for some reason. I don't remember. Anyways, let's crack on. Who gives a flying beep? Anyways, let's keep fucking doing our bullshit. Hopefully people will be here soon, and most likely in 30 minutes people are going to realize they've got a notification, because most of the people hopefully have hit the bell notification so they can be notified when we're doing this. And I was hoping that my friend Carrie, that I've been doing hanging out with a lot and like going and doing a lot of public stuff with, is going to be here, but she probably got stoned. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, we have a Schizma Crusher here, which has not been here in a gazillion years, and I have been a little worried, and I'm so glad to see
We
you.
were fucking worried about you, young man.
Yeah, but I figured that you were just busy doing things, and that's why we didn't like completely reach out. But you did scare us a little bit. But I figured you were just busy, and that's I was hoping. So here we go with Schizma Crushers intro. Commercials, because they are our channel sponsor. Ouch, that's gotta hurt.
Oh, yeah.
even
So,
my cat is that dumb.
welcome back, Schizma Crusher, to the stream. We're glad to see you. If you ever need help with anything, Skits, you know that you can like reach out to us too. You don't have to just be the arbiter of helping everybody. Just FYI, let's crack on and let's watch the bestest proof. No, we understand and we know, we get it. We know and stuff and things. No, I get it, homie. And I wanted to reach out, but I didn't know if me reaching out was gonna like cause more stress in your life than not. So I felt like we were just gonna wait to see. And we totally understand. No, like we've been talking about this on stream with my dad's a veteran who works. My dad's and I told you this, Skits, and I think I told everybody else. My dad's a veteran who works for a veteran organization. He's the head of a veterans organization. So like all of us have been very, very confused about what's going on and when and how. But no, love you as well. And we're here for you. And
that is the reason why we're all kind of worried about you.
Yeah, and that's why we were worried about you. Because I was wondering, but I wanted you to.
What I'm doing now is
Go ahead.
Here's a big virtual hug. Yeah.
Yes, virtual hugs for Schizma Crusher. Everybody hug Skits in the side chat.
Hugs in the side chat.
Yes. I just didn't want to pressure you to, until you told us. So anyways, let's keep cracking on with the bestest proof that we have that Bigfoot exists. Because every time we watch these videos, like, how can you say this wasn't a thing? Oh, sorry, Al. How are you doing? Sorry.
Oh, I'm not too bad. How's it going?
Good. I'm glad to have you on the stream again.
It's nice to be here. Hope everybody's all right. I came in just the right time.
Yeah, you came in just the right time to see our sexy Sasquatch dance.
Oh, it's the sexy Squatch. Okay.
It's the sexy Sasquatch dance. God damn it. One of my earphones is going out on the left, and it's pissing me off because I have to hold it a certain way so I can hear both ears because I hate not hearing both sides. Oh, it's not going to work. So if you don't believe Sasquatch is a thing, this is goddamn irrefutable proof that Sasquatch is a thing. Like, prove me wrong. That's not real. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, like, I need to know. I need to know, is that a bikini top or
it's a bow belt. It's a bow belt that it has on, and then it has a bow on its head. Honestly, its vagina and tits are actually exposed, but since it's a Sasquatch, it's hairy.
It's
so
okay.
you're
It's just
technically covered in quotes.
I get it. I get it. I'm not hairy. You can't tell where things.
No,
begin
no,
and
no.
end.
You don't look like a complete Sasquatch except for the top of your head.
I'm not hairy anymore. Never mind. You mind.
All right.
Sorry.
You don't have to share that much, Brainless.
I am the hair. Well, no, that's not true. I am mostly the hairiest I've ever been in my entire life because I used to flame off all of my body hair when we used to do fire events. It was the easiest way to do it. You literally would just put a little bit of like some type of very, very low burning fuel, which is normally kerosene, on a little bit on you. You just take a little bit on your fingers, you go like this, you light it with a torch, and then you just go like this, and all your fucking body hair is gone. And you can do that to like most of your body, and it doesn't freaking hurt. Yay! So we have a captive desk. We've got a Dave. You're just in time.
Oh, I should be paying attention
The
to comments.
I think Al can do it.
But we have a desk. Did you see the all hail Bigfoot? Did you see the Bigfoot footage that we just showed? Because I'll show it again. I'm not scared to show. Actually,
show it again.
I have another
Show it
one.
again.
I have more from that channel that is irrefutable proof that Bigfoot is a thing. I have more proof that Bigfoot is real.
Well, that came up from Spooky Things. I won't.
Yes.
That wasn't spooky.
Well, yeah, and I'm mixing it up. I'm mixing it up for different things for this. So it's effing funny and spooky things because this is a cryptid and it's also a funny thing.
Oh, Dave's confirming you did not. Okay. So stop sharing because we're not going to show the more cryptid stuff. That's fine. You just saw the new one that I shared. And everybody go to this channel. Everybody go to this channel. It is Bigfoot Bay. Bigfoot BAE. Everybody go there and show them some love because they're fucking amazing. So welcome, Captain Des. Welcome, Demon Orb. If there's anybody else that's not said hello to us, please say hello to us. So what are we doing today? We are going over Agartha. Sorry. There's a video played in my ear, and I got a strike. So we're going over Agartha, the hidden inner earth of Kingdom. I thought you said Garcia. I thought it was going to be like a Deadhead video.
Oh yeah, we're going over the lure of goddamn motherfucking the Deadheads. Yeah, we can do that on we can do that in another. Yeah, that could be.
Hey,
another
Victoria.
Hey, Victoria.
I am
Welcome.
Victoria. Hello.
So let's get into this video, and let's find out if there's an actual inner Earth, and there are actual Tartarians that live inside the Earth, and they are advanced civilization aliens. Let's find out if this is true or not. We'll find out.
Slim,
right?
I got a question.
I'll hold on to anything. Yeah, of course.
If there's no Tartaria, how do you explain steak tartare?
Oh, that proves it. Okay, done. Let's just shut down the stream. We're done. He just fucking proved it. We're done. Okay, bye everybody. No, all right. So here we go.
And sorry to disappoint you, but Tartaria was a existing area. It was an area.
Yeah,
it was not
we know.
It was an area.
It was an area, yeah, and it was around like Russia or around that or something, right? It was, anyways. It doesn't matter. Let's listen to the crackheadness of these
around Russia.
Beep.
Like the whole globe is all around it.
I mean, you can technically not say that Australia or South America is, but that's semantics. Let's crack on. Let's just go with the flow of the. Because I know you want to hear this fun stuff.
Stop with the safety message.
Why are you here?
Before the space race, there was a major race between world powers on who would be the first to locate this city. A city that is said to hold so many resources and advanced weaponry that was powerful enough to change the course of any war. The United States, the UK, the Soviet Union, Japan, Germany, and every major powerful country all tried to find this
And
place.
Slim,
They sponsored multiple.
something that we need to address.
I know. I see it. I saw it. Thank you.
Thank you, Skits there.
Thank you, Schisma Crusher, for being the channel sponsor that you are, and you just gave away 5 gifted memberships. So, Brainless, while you are letting us know who those are.
That is a Jason Jacoby. Barry Hutt.
Okay.
Godless Granny.
Yay, okay. Granny. Welcome. I hope she finds out.
Yeah.
I will probably message her about that.
Jivey.
Okay.
Jaivi.
Okay.
And somebody on the panel. Al motherfucking Trucker.
Al Trucker, now you are a member as well.
Oh, holy
Thank you very
thank
much.
You so much.
Schisma Crusher. And let's go ahead and let's play video for becoming a member. If you don't know what that means, or you've never seen this, or you're this first time you're being a member, here you go. Welcome, new members. And Ivy says, if Bigfoot isn't real, why would that watch exist? I sent you a picture on Discord okay. Let's see what this is.
Is it not just a Sasquatch or
I don't see that here. Oh, you didn't send me anything. Okay, you didn't send me anything.
Discord,
that's what you meant. I don't see it for some reason. I don't know.
Scroll up, it is there.
Sure.
That watch. Okay. So it's God, of course it moves.
Right.
No, I don't want that there. I picked the wrong thing. Hold on, give me a second, and we will do stop sharing. Oh shit. And then present. It is that, but then I have to do that, and then this. And that is what Ned's talking about. It's the Sasquatch, the Rolex Sasquatch.
That's a Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Is that like from Saskatchewan?
It better be from Saskatchewan, Jesus Christ. If not, it shouldn't be. Anyways, there we go. So there's that, and let's go ahead and do this, and let's start. Yes, let's start with this. My headphones not working is pissing me off. I might have to switch headphones in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this, and then I'm gonna go grab new headphones because I do not want to. Yeah, her stream last night was awesome. Everybody go to Godless Granny's channel, and if somebody could put that in the side of my chats, please do, because she's fucking awesome. And thank you very much, Schisma Crusher, for putting in all of our emojis. And let's start this, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab headphones that actually work, so I don't have to deal with holding them in a weird way, because I would like to drink a beer eventually. Okay, let's crack on.
Expeditions and used ample resources, all in a bid to locate this place, but it was all a failure. Or so we thought. Recent studies and retrospective investigations have led me and a lot of others to think that maybe the reason they stopped looking for the kingdom of Agartha was because they found it.
It doesn't exist?
And despite what these countries say about this place not existing, their behavior says otherwise, that they have indeed found not just one, but multiple entrances to the inner kingdom of Agartha. The kingdom of Agartha is a legendary place that is said to be located at the very heart of the planet, deep underground. Some say its entrance lies deep in the Himalayas, but no one truly knows the exact location of this kingdom. Despite being underground, Agartha is said to have an advanced tunneling system that connects all continents on Earth. While we surface dwellers travel around the world by air or by sea, the people of Agartha do theirs underground. These tunnels were constructed race of extraordinary people known as the Old Ones. They far surpass humans in intelligence and technology, as well as physically and spiritually. This mysterious race is said to be practically omniscient and also conscious of everything that takes place on the surface.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody said a thing about a thing, so that means it's real. Yeah, that's how fucking it works in court. Hearsay is totally a thing.
I know what it
And
is.
then they stopped searching for something because that means it's real.
I know what it is. It is an island group in the Atlantic Ocean, the Faroe Islands. They are connected with tunnels, and I'm not.
Yeah, they're
lying.
lava.
And I'm not lying.
Yeah, no, they're lava tunnels, right? There's the lava
No,
tunnel theme
real
of
traffic tunnels. They're
somebody
real.
actually. No, but were they man-made or were they naturally made?
Man-made. They made tunnels between their islands. Really?
Yeah, and the other thing that happened as well around the world is if you look at the underground tunnels of the Europes, Las Vegas, and other places. So in downtown Fort Collins, they built a shit ton of fucking crazy ass connecting tunnels downtown during Prohibition in the 1920s. Every single business had built tunnels that connected themselves with every other business. There is probably 12 square blocks of downtown, if not more, of underground tunnels that happened during Prohibition. And do you want to know how I know this personally? I don't know why I said that with that weird inflection at the end. No, my best friend, he actually worked for the electrical company in Fort Collins. And a lot of the meters and a lot of these buildings are actually underground. And he did other things with the electrical company. He had to test certain places. And so one day, him and I got drunk. And he's like, hey, you want to go through all the tunnels of Fort Collins? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, come here. And he just goes to the back of this building and he has these fucking 20 keys and he just opens up this door and we just go down into the basement of all of these all the establishments. And because nowadays they don't need to have people going in between things so much, every couple of stores we would have to like come back up. But he would literally take me down and we would go look into this. And eventually we like were 5 miles down the road. And I'm like, oh my God, that's fucking crazy how this underground system works. But you want to know the difference between what we're talking about here on this video and what I'm talking about? We have goddamn motherfucking proof of it. But yes, a lot of cultures.
You're talking about tunnels connecting buildings within one city, not continents.
Yeah, and not underground societies that are, and then we'll get there when we get there and we get there. And yes, Bigfoot guards all the entrances to all of the things. And
hey, Oliman.
The jerky and hey, Canadian. So let's crack on.
It is believed that millions of people live in Agartha, which is ruled by
millions of people live in a place that we don't have any understanding of where it is for no reason at all.
Its king, who is known as the Master.
Even if
the kingdom is equipped with cutting-edge transportation capabilities, such as flying vehicles, and preserves its knowledge in extensive libraries. Now, some people may know it as Agartha, but others may know this city as Shambhala. They are.
Oh, now they're pulling Shambhala into this. Okay, I see. What we're doing.
Okay.
We're going west. We're going Western world, and we're going Eastern world. They're trying to pull the poles together, East and West together. I guess is the best way to put it. Right? Wouldn't you say that's what's happening, right? Isn't Shambhala a Eastern cultural thing? And then Agartha is supposedly Western.
I'm not completely sure because I'm
Great,
not
okay.
that
Well,
well educated.
if anybody here or in the side chat says that I'm wrong, please go on. Again, I don't give a fuck if I'm wrong. I want all of us to be smarter. So if I sputter out some bullshit, please tell me I'm dumb.
Kind of the same thing in the sense that Agartha is the kingdom and Shambhala is the capital. Though some people think these are two different places.
Okay.
They could be right, too. Personally, I see it as two sides of the same coin. But that's not the bone of contention.
Wait. How does that work? I know. Anyways, just keep going because it's fucking fake anyways.
What struck me when I was researching was that just like the flood myth in every culture...
Now we're going to go
every
here.
culture has encountered at least one flood.
What local culture has not gotten a hurricane, a thing that is either a hurricane, a tornado, or whatever on that, the spinny things of a thing at some point in time? Who's not had an earthquake on their land? Who's not had a flood? There's a handful of things that are a constant that happen around the globe that most cultures have endured some way, shape, or form, right?
We had several real floods in the Netherlands.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, here we just went through like 4 different floods that were catastrophic. That if you were to live in the 0 AD or BC times, you would have said that they were a catastrophic, God-given, deity-driven thing, right? No,
for as far as you know, it covered the entire world because the entire world was pretty small back then.
Yeah, no, exactly to me, especially when your boats can only go so far into the oceans, and if they can't see other things, they would go so far and come back and go, "That's the fucking Earth." You know what I'm saying? That's why, back in the day, flat Earth was such a small thing. Because they only had this understanding of this big and not everything else. Then when people were able to go further, allegedly the Vikings, although I don't know if they actually... Anyways. And then other peoples, and then other cultures and things and stuff. And then we also look at the Americas, and we see what the natives were doing, which just proves that was the side of it. And Columbus didn't know where he was going when he accidentally ran into the Indians. But once again, we knew that...
No, he didn't run into the Indians. He ran into trouble, and the Indians saved him and his crew.
Obviously, until they gave them diseases. And it was actually unfortunately, on accident, that a lot of the Native American population at first was decimated, and then at first, but then the wars happened and other things. Unfortunately, like, they were doomed once the Europeans arrived over there. Like, it sucks balls, but that's like unfortunately what. And colonialism, obviously. Like, I'm not going to say that wasn't it, but bringing disease over there took out like stupid amounts of people, which is insane. That's why vaccinate your kids, people. Jesus Christ, I can't believe measles is a goddamn motherfucking thing again. And then also, what else is the thing? Oh, well, the bird flu, it didn't get contained the way that it should have. And then others, let's crack on with a goddamn flood, because now we're not doing that right now. Today and tomorrow we'll do that.
And religion, there is this myth of a world deep beneath the earth that is not easily accessible. In an ancient Mayan text called the Popol Vuh, there is the story of Xibalba, an underground civilization. Shikamaztok.
Xibalba is my favorite underground thing that I ever entered. I mean, what? Wait, nope, stop before I have to press the red button.
Is the place where the Aztecs believed they had emerged to live on the surface of the earth. The name literally translates to 7 caves, and researchers are actually looking for it.
So there's not been places... One of the first places that humans, which were not humans before that, it would be Neanderthals and before humans, that species actually turned into human parts. Let's put it that way. Where did we stay inside of? They just said the word. It's called caves. It's called caves. Existing structures that were already there before we figured out ways to build things. The first places that we inhabited were existing holes. Let's put it that way. I mean, the first hole that I ever got into, never mind, we'll talk about that later. But no, that was the first structures, right? So of course we're gonna have these stories talking about the deities and the other things of the cave systems. That part of the first things about gods is going to be that, because one of the things that happens with caves and with other things, you're going to experience life that you've never seen before. Glowing weird things. If you go into a cave and you go low enough, you're going to gas yourself out. You're going to find carbon monoxide pockets, and you're going to die from them. There's a lot of mystical, weird things if you go into caves and you don't understand what's really going on. And the only way I know this is I have gone into a handful of cave systems by myself with other people, with not just like guides and shite. And then I've also gone into caves and things at different, not museum sites, but tourist attraction sites, I guess. But it's like you pay money and they're like, oh, let's take you on this guided tour through this thing. And we're going to show you stalactites and stalagmites. And then there's the glowing things. And then we're going to turn off this light and turn on this light. And this thing happens. It's very spunktacular. It's very mystical in caves in certain ways, shapes, and forms. And that's why now what we're talking about is this silly thing that is on screen. And I know I went way further into this than I need to. And our moon was formed from a, yeah. Wait, okay, yeah, totally. Okay, let's talk about the
and some even think they found it. Subterranean realms and cavern spirits were all.
I mean, how insane does that look right there? That looks like it's from another planet. So if you're in ancient culture,
this does look like it's a real cave.
No, this is this is a real cave. No, this is a real cave. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is if you saw this as an ancient person's, would you think this was of our world? Yes and no. I'm going to say yes and no. But if you didn't understand how this was made, would you say this was I don't know. That's what they're trying to say, though. They're trying to say that the inner works of the world that looks like this is why these ancients. Let's crack on.
Also described in African and other Native American traditions. The Sumerians referred to it as Ker, which means a void space or home of the dead. The Babylonians, on the other hand, labeled it as Urkala. The Chinese.
So it's just holes and caves and openings in. Anyways, crack on.
Call it Diyu, and the Japanese call it Yomi. Myths of an underground world were prevalent in all religions, including Islam, Greek, Roman, ancient Egypt, and so on. The lore is quite voluminous. Even the Bible talks of a world below. In Exodus 20, verse.
Do you know there's a lot of things that go underground? Like, that's what spelunkers do and stuff and things. So, yeah, it's very scary to go into deep places underground. And there's a lot of weird things that happen. There's like volcanic activity. There's a handful of other things. So obviously ancient cultures are not going to understand how nature works, and they're going to over exaggerate, or they're going to put it once again. The first god that people worshipped was the sun, because that was the only thing, and the moon that became, that became
but also that was also the one thing, like they realized that is what actually gives life
and everything. They saw that is the only blah of the blah, and that's what made the wheat grow and your things, and and you told
that
you
makes
when you
your
get
weed
up and
grow.
Major weed. Yeah, totally. But anyways, so once again, that's the beginning of, I want to say the end, and I know it isn't, but that's the beginning of philosophy into godology. And I know that's not the right word, but I want to say that I'm going to claim godology is where they started placing a deity into a thing to make it a religion, and then they started worshiping that and hoping that if they sacrificed their youngest virgin daughter to blah, will you please let them in? Then
But I was beating up somebody in GTA.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'll
do it. Okay. But you know what I'm saying. Do we know where I'm getting at as of right now? But let's crack on. Let's keep cracking on.
Yeah.
4, Moses says, "You shall not make for yourself a divine image with any form that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth below, or that is."
So I cannot make an effigy of Jesus praying as a dildo and use it to fuck my wife. Never mind. Okay, I'm stopped.
In the water below the earth. And there are multiple talks of a world below. It's one thing if one or two religions agree on a certain thing, but when almost all cultures in the
there's not really talk of a world below.
Each other's fucking stories, you fucking dumb cunt.
Yeah,
that's why they agree on so many things.
Yeah. In the old world, there's a lot of below. It's like what's it been called? Middle Earth, right? It's just there is the inner, the top, and above Earths. I mean, literally, it's silly stupid. But every culture is going to mainly come on each other. I mean, with this kind of same thing. What we found out is technology kind of like. What up, Beck? What up, Beck? What we've come to find out is technology seems to spread evenly around the world at certain times. We don't know if, like, it's really hard to say that, like, every single time that a culture goes to other cultures to share it, but it seems like when math gets to a certain point, and then another thing gets to a certain point, necessity is a thing. Like, how do we bake bread better? How do we build houses better? There seems to be like an even keel of technology being spread that I don't think is alien or weird. Because when you have people that are able to make things at a certain level, then it gets barely shared, or somebody else goes, oh, I can take this material that they didn't know that somebody else was taking that material and then printing it a certain way or something, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody around the world is kind of doing the same thing. It's just like, I'm going to say class consciousness, but I don't know if that's the right word. I may be saying the
probably
wrong.
Christ consciousness. Sorry.
It's cunt consciousness. It's Karen consciousness. I'm just kidding. But anyways, let's crack on. So just some of these, anyways. And then caves are fucking mystical and crazy as fuck, bro. And like, say you're going into a cave and then like, you get doused with CO2 for just a millisecond, right? Say you just walk through it. You want to know one of the reasons like so that a lot of scientists think that people see ghosts is because they got carbon monoxide poisoned. There's a handful of times that we can prove that actually happened. So say you're walking through these caves and again, you dive through a pool.
See, there he is, the dumbass.
You dive through a thing of carbon monoxide for just a second. Just give me a second, and then we'll say hello to our doggos. But just say that happened. What are you going to do? You're going to hallucinate like a motherfucker. And if you're an ancient person, what do you think is going to happen? Of course you're going to think that God just fucking hit you with something or something happened that, okay, hey dog, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I forgot about the daylight saving.
I fucking put it in the goddamn motherfucking Discord. No, I know.
I don't do Discord. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
You have to.
I did. I don't know another way to tell you other than that, and I figured that was going to happen. It's okay. So let's crack on with the video. We're talking about Inner Earth, dog.
In the world, talk about a world beneath the earth. You have to pay attention. Multiple cultures from Hindus, Buddhists, Native American tribes, Celts, and others all convey a similar story of human origins, mythical races, or even gods living in deep caves away from our.
Oh my god, you're telling me that ancient civilizations talked about how they originated? Yeah, of course they did that, you dumb cunt. What are we talking about anymore?
One of the earliest references to a subterranean world.
And they always, again, like I said just a second ago, and I know Dog wasn't here, and maybe I'd say we all found safety in caves. Because what's the best way to not get killed in the middle of the night by a bunch of animals? You find a place that has a backstop. What's the awesomest place to have a backstop, or a place that there's nobody going to be able to get behind you? Before you could build structures, a motherfucking cave, an alcove, a handful of other thingy-mabobbers. The thingy-mabobbers about like living in an alcove or places of a bay or other things like that is they're not going to last forever, because waters are going to get into it, salt water and other things are going to destroy it. So the only way that we're going to have proof of people living in things before were caves. And yes, we're going to have writings and stuff. But again, that's what they're talking about. The only way we have what we're talking about is because of caves. Caves
comes from Hindu mythology, which talks about Patala, a realm beneath the earth's surface inhabited by serpent-like beings called Nagas.
Oh my god, there were lizards and like shrimp and bats and things in caves? Oh, what are you talking about? Okay, I'll stop and let's just keep playing.
Could be what some people might call lizard people. Patala is often depicted.
Oh my god, they said there were lizards in there, and motherfucker jumped, springboarded into saying lizard people, motherfucker. This is, oh my, that's what I'm saying. We have no proof again and again and again, and let's crack on.
As a paradise with advanced technology and great wisdom. However, the concept of Shambhala was introduced in Buddhist traditions, notably those that originate from Tibet. Shambhala is described in the teachings of Tibetan Buddhism's Kalachakra as a realm where a future king will appear to assist humanity during times of tremendous turbulence, aligning with the idea of our.
And that happened every single time we went to any war. Okay, I'll stop.
As a source of ultimate wisdom and salvation. In addition to having a population of at least 20,000 people at the time the city was constructed, it also has a geopolitical history that is documented in the ancient Buddhist literature known as the Kalachakra Tantra. Additionally, it is thought
Isn't that the book of all the sexual positions? Oh no, that's the Kama Sutra. Never mind, that's completely different. We'll talk about that later.
The same civilization was depicted by the pre-Buddhist religion of Tibet, which is known as Bon. Even though most Buddhists in the modern day maintain that Shambhala resides in a purely spiritual plane, it is evident that in many early traditions and teachings, Shambhala or Agartha was considered to be a physical place that was accessible. In such, according to Bon, the
was it? Okay, anyways, let's crack on and let them talk a little bit more. I don't believe it ever was. I think in the writings it was more of a place that we could get to that would not be a dystopia. That would be a pure place. But I don't think in the writings they ever said it was a place.
The gateway to this civilization is located to the west of Mount Kailash. And if you know about Mount Kailash, you would.
There's like 20 people that have tried to climb it and they all died on there. But it's a holy place because people died there trying to get to it.
Know how true this might be. But who exactly are the Agarthans and how did they come to be? Well, if this story I'm about to tell even has a hint of truth, then it would seem
I love how you worded that bullshit.
We are the aliens and not the other way around.
Okay,
now, the story goes like this. At first, citizens of Agartha lived and thrived on the surface, and Agartha as a country or kingdom wasn't actually in existence back then. These were different people from different nations.
I'm sorry, everybody, how stupid this is. I'm sorry how dumb this is.
Living in different places.
Just wait until we get to it. I'm sorry how dumb this becomes.
But after a great cataclysm that almost destroyed the world, aka the flood, the remaining survivors of these great ancient civilizations decided to take what was left and start again. But this time,
Ooh, was God that incompetent? He couldn't kill everybody? Wait, there was a flood? So we went underground to hide from the...
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you take a hammer and hit yourself in the face enough, this makes sense. Otherwise, what the fuck are we talking about? This is the dumbest thing in the world. Okay, I need to grab another beer. I'm gonna play this for just like 10, and then I'll come back.
Does he say how deep these
Hopefully they would be safe from
animals
such
are?
destruction.
Jesus Christ, just
What?
yeah. Okay, so let's crack on. Let's crack.
Grab your beer.
And it's just pretend humans or pre-humans that went underground or something. And just crack on.
Destruction if it were to happen again.
The
survivors
erection.
came together to form a new nation, which is Agartha. Of course, there are other trains of thought that the cataclysm was caused by the lengthy war between Atlantean and Lemurian civilizations, as well as the potency of thermonuclear weaponry. So imagine instead of shooting guns and at most airstrikes, they were using nuclear bombs consistently, which was ultimately responsible for the sinking and destruction of these two extremely advanced civilizations. Some believe that the Sahara Desert, the Gobi Desert, and the Australian outback are some of the examples of the destruction that came from the war. In order to provide a safe haven for the people and to protect the precious records, teachings, and technologies that were
science.
Who? Go ahead. Whoever was
There was a
speaking.
guy that was spirit science or something. There was some guy, some idiot.
Oh, you don't believe in the come of Samian guy? Anyways, I know. No, anyways, there's no references. We don't have any citations that we need. There's nothing. It's just people. It's hearsay. All of this is hearsay. That's literally how this world works for these idiots.
were highly valued by these ancient societies. The subsidies were established deep in the earth.
Yeah,
Either
deep
way,
inside
be
my
it by an
anyways.
act of God, nature, or man, or
Deep
whatever,
inside her
one
earth.
thing was certain: no one wanted to go through that again. So the remaining
Hey, it's inside of her. That's all I need to know because that's what they told me when I married my sister cousin. Why I don't know why I brought that into this. Sorry, everybody. Let's keep going on.
survivors from Atlantis, Lemuria, Hyperborea, and any other race went.
Hyperborea.
So if all these have a pinch
Yeah.
of truth in
Go ahead.
Oh, you brought it in because it's just as stupid as the shit this person is spouting. Like,
I mean,
holy
I feel like if you only married your sister cousin wife, then you would believe this. Other than that, I have no idea what's going on. Hey, Majestic.
I'm Majestic.
Oh,
Oh, and everyone else,
Majestic.
by the way.
And I love how the center of this looks like a butthole. I don't know. I need to get laid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That would mean, just like the Native Americans, this is their planet and we are the foreigners. People who live in Agartha are referred to as Agarthans, which are also
So you literally just outed the goddamn Native Americans. Are you kidding me? It's just like these white people that fucking do that. Out the Native Americans say it could be theirs, but if it wasn't, then it could be the Agarthians. I don't know what's going on anymore.
also known as inner earth beings. Agarthans are claimed to be extremely intelligent beings with advanced technology, intellect, spiritual understanding, and longevity.
Yeah, that's what every fucking hippie.
They will not be spiritual.
That's what every goddamn fucking crystal hippie thinks when they fucking rub the crystals on their fucking armpits, and then they take the fucking goddamn sage and the chipuli, whatever that's called, goddamn fucking oil. God, I hate that fucking oil.
Chipotle. Yeah.
No, it's chipuli oil. It's a fucking hippie thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, juniper oil.
Patchouli?
No, it's chipuli. No, patchouli. It's patchouli oil.
Patchouli oil, yeah.
No, it's patchouli oil. It smells like shite, homie. And
Horrible,
sage, when they burn it, fucking, I hate it. But the only reason they say that you hate burning sage is if you're a demon, and I'm totally a fucking demon. Anyways, no, goddamn fucking hippies. But they're the ones that believe in this bull crap.
They are also said to possess extraordinary longevity as they flourish in a
Well,
state
it's more the Wu-tards that are doing this because they don't believe that other cultures could do anything. It's like the ancient aliens. It's all fucking racist as shite.
of vigorous health, nourished by water that is rich in copper. They are also characterized as being
water rich by copper. Yeah, drink copper water, dumbass.
with skin that is green in
that'll
color,
make you
while
stronger.
still possessing traits
Like these
that are
people
similar
do
to
need
those.
to drink that, though. The people that believe this do.
No,
need to
I hope
drink
they
that.
do. I hope they drink all of.
And if you want it even better, drink water with lead in it.
No,
Yeah,
no.
as
What they should
mercury.
do,
That works faster.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
Mercury
on, hold on. What they should do is they should go to their local mine, and they should just drink the water straight out of the fucking mine. Yeah, no, I don't give a what mine it is. Yeah, no, drink that water, dumbass. You fucking idiots.
Well, funny you should say that because I went to Cornwall and there's one of their old tin mines there is now a tourist attraction. You can go down. It's about
Yeah, but don't drink it.
It's about 1,800 meters deep, and literally they take you down about a mile.
Yeah,
and my ears popped. The bloke next to me, his nose just went boom. It just blood and shit came out of it.
Yeah,
and
no, I've
that's
been
just
through
like a
mines.
mile. And the
No, I've
biggest
been- yeah.
borehole in the world, I think, is the Kola borehole. It's either in Russia or Norway, on the borders there. Dispute, I don't know.
They
And
went to
that's-
5 miles or something, and then they heard ghosts and spirits, and they said that demons were trying to get out. And no, you know what it sounds like in the middle of the earth? It probably sounds like fucking crazy shit. Anyways,
yeah, but
crack
they had
on.
to come up. They had to come up like they do in the sea. They had to come up and be decompressed slowly.
Yeah, no, it's definitely decompression for show. I mean,
Because
yeah.
you
But anyways,
couldn't let that deep in water because because of the weight of the water, but even the weight of the air on top of you, it's so much
yeah,
stress.
you can't
Kill
just
ya.
let a demon out of the middle of the earth and just expect him to just like pop out. You got to decompress him. I'll stop right there. No, I'm just kidding with just regular people we were talking about earlier.
You got to decompress
Anyways,
them.
let's get into
You got to
this.
run them through
You got to
the
decompress that. Okay, stop. Okay, let's go.
But their appearance, despite being similar to humans, is luminous and radiant, with a physical form that is said to be more refined and ethereal compared to humans. They wear clothing that is simple yet elegant, sometimes including symbols and designs that reflect their advanced culture and knowledge. Agartha
It's probably not. Anyways, let's talk about that later.
are thought to be tranquil, enlightened, and in sync.
It's an Elon Musk symbol. It's a Tesla, and never mind. We'll talk about the other symbol later.
The natural world, the protection of the environment, the promotion of
the swastika. Yeah, the swastika.
peace and harmony in
yeah.
all aspects, and the guiding of humanity towards sustainability and well-being are the stated goals of this kingdom. As a result of their exceptionally strong psychic talents, it is thought that Agarthans are able to dwell in both the physical and spiritual realms simultaneously. This enables them to communicate with certain people and other beings.
Yes.
Now, at this point, it's beginning to sound like I'm just a good storyteller, and this would make for a
Yeah, where's proof, motherfucker? And is he gonna give us proof? Let's find out, because obviously we know the answer.
good bedtime story. But what if I told you that this was more than a story? In such, there was so much belief in the Agartha existence that the United States, the Soviet Union, Germany, Russia, and the UK funded expeditions towards discovering Agartha.
So, at one point in time, long ago, people actually looked for these for a hot second, and guess what happened? They fucking stopped looking for them for some reason. I don't know why they stopped looking for them.
They found it. Come on, you know that.
Yeah, because they can send boats, planes, trains everywhere. I know trains can't go. But anyways, they can send things everywhere. Like, do you think the American government didn't understand how the world was shaped 100 years ago? Let's just put it that way. At least 100 years ago.
Carrie.
Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? Welcome, hun. Yeah, patchouli oil. Yes, totally. And let's crack on because, obviously,
I think you're slightly behind. If that's what you're.
Yeah, you may
about.
you may want to exit out and come back in, but anyways, it's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just those hippies, like we were talking about, that only small like that.
Now, before you go comment on how the Soviet Union and Russia are technically the same thing, that was done on purpose to show you that the Soviet Union as a whole, spanning 22.4 million kilometers square.
Wait, the whole of the never mind.
with 15 countries believed in Agartha. And when it was dissolved in 1991, the strongest and largest set, which is Russia, still continued that belief. So to these powerful nations and...
Are you sure? I don't have any proof that Russia still believed in this. Where
No
is
one
the site?
believes in this.
Okay. We're gonna have to totally do this once again. Like, we're gonna totally do this. Hold on. I haven't done this in a hot second.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Exactly, Timely. That's
world leaders,
no.
Agartha wasn't a bedtime story. It was real, and they were going to find it at all cost.
Well, just like the Nazis supposedly did. Everybody was looking for it for a second, but again, once that they didn't find it, they were like, never mind. And then we have the technology we have. What are we talking about?
In 1923, Nicholas and Helena Roerich, skilled husband and wife, took a journey deep into the Tibetan Himalayas with the funding of American sponsors.
Yeah, and they came back and they said exactly what they needed to say so that they could, like, still get money from the government. These people are totally not... Oh, gosh. Oh, my Jeebus. Tell Robert to stop posting for you. There's nobody hating the hippies. Jesus Christ. I know it's Robert posting for you.
The true nature of this trip is still shrouded in controversies and mystery. The crazy thing is that the Roeriches were actually known believers in the Agartha story. They didn't hide their faith even when working with pragmatic people.
They didn't hide
the Roeriches
their
were known
faith
for their belief
of
and
the,
practice in the occult and in their search for Agartha, or to be more specific, Shambhala. I mean, this was a hidden kingdom with all these amazing things just waiting to be discovered.
I know
in the
it was
Himalayan
not
mountains,
you. I know.
Which, by the way, are among the most unexplored and remote locations on the planet. So it was looking possible that this could be the place. All that was required was to locate it. It was
now they're going to locate it. Now we're going to finger, we're going to locate
December of 1923, when Nicholas Roerich landed in the frostbitten chill.
Where do you think we're going to find it, dog? Where do you think we're going to find it?
Just use
Everybody.
Shangri-La.
GPS. Everybody, where do we think we're going to find
Shangri-La? It's in the Himalayas. It's going to be in Shangri-La.
But is it?
No.
That is Shangri-La. That's in the Himalayas.
Well, that's what they said, but now they're saying what? I mean, that's what I don't even know where we're talking about anymore. But this is the underground blah 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 of the train of. But let's crack on.
Of Darjeeling, British India.
Yeah, no. Now we're talking about that place in British India that says now they are the Shambhala blah blah blah, and or what we're talking about is Agartha, which is the inner planet. The inner world civilization or whatever. They said Kronos, the king of Atlantis, was placed in a prison on the shore that forced Atlantis. The prison to collapse, and the only secondary proof of Atlantis' second would be cosmetology. God damn it, D, you made me. That's great. That was awesome that you made me goddamn read the whole fucking thing. That was great.
Darjeeling is a city of tea plantations and Buddhist monasteries.
Ooh, tea plantation. Okay,
located at the foot of the eastern Himalayan mountains. He was somehow able to convince the local authorities that he was conducting an archaeological expedition to document the art and culture of Central Asia. But this was a lie, because a substantial amount of evidence, including his notebooks and drawings, as well as the peculiar occurrences that occurred throughout their journey, would later reveal that Roerich's true objective was to find the entrance to Agartha. In addition to Nicholas, his wife...
And did that happen? I mean, we can go do all we want, but did it happen? Go ahead, anybody.
Is this the same woo peddler as the guy with the galaxies, the ancient, with the space alien races?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's fucking hilarious. So, anyways, let's crack on with
wife Helena, their son George, and a group of 6 associates went on the journey.
Citation needed. I want to see the proof of those 6 people going on there with their son, because I feel like that was way kinkier than it ended up being. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Expedition which spanned 5 years, 21,000.
You're telling me this couple, their son and 5 other dudes went into the mountains and no kinky shit happened? Citation needed. Tell me that didn't
feet
happen.
of elevation, 35 mountain crossings, and 15,000 miles of
Jesus
undiscovered
Christ.
roadways. And by the time it
And they didn't find Tartaria? Yeah, okay.
would be over, 5 of them would come back home as corpses. Not only that, but spies from the UK and the Soviet Union, and even American spies, were following Roerich, hoping that he would lead them to this city. During their journey,
yeah, we're talking.
Hi, Mom, I'm back. I'm a corpse.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, hey, Mom. I'm a corpse. But we're talking about back in the day when espionage and a bunch of other things were like very prevalent. Nowadays, like we can just like link things. You can look at people's cell phone, but back in the day, if somebody was doing some weird shit for a government, there's going to be like 3 other governments watching that. So it totally makes sense that there's this. But did they prove there's an inner Earth ancient civilization?
Well,
civilization.
If they did, like none of the governments got the memo.
No, obviously, because now we still not. But let's crack on more with this.
Nicholas would use 2
once again 12 minutes into a 40-minute video.
Notebooks to document his journey. One of the books was purely scientific and logical. After all, it was an expedition, and you would need to record things that others can use. The other book was mostly esoteric. This was likely his diary, where he would freely talk about the strange things he saw, the dreams he had, and other strange visions.
Oh, he was talking about the nonsensical stuff when the actual documentation he was doing was scientific. But now he's, oh God, Jesus Christ, Beavis and Butthead. Like, what are we talking about anymore? Like,
the guy was
where he grew as an artist and drew more than 500 paintings about his.
And now he's doing like hallucinogenic paintings and stuff. And hey, drugs, cool. I don't care. I don't care if you take drugs, but just don't make it scientific and just don't say. But let's crack on. Let's crack on.
His vision
I bet you when he was
and
hiking through
experience
the
in the
Himalayas, he
Himalayas.
kept looking down
Through
going,
his
ooh,
diary.
a mushroom. I'll have that. Ooh, a mushroom. I'll have that. Ooh, a mushroom. I'll have that.
I don't think they were doing that. But the other thing is when you go through altitude sickness and different altitudes, you will get high in different ways. Going through Mosquito Pass, I think we've talked about it before. In Colorado, Mosquito Pass is, I want to say 1,400 feet above sea level or something like that. When you get there, woo, it's like taking drugs. And if you are on anything and you go there, woo, it's going to be like you're taking way more drugs. So that's how the world works with just altitudes. Let's put it that way. There are so many other things that happen when you get into different things. Like I was saying about the cave dwellers, right? If you get into a pocket of carbon monoxide and before you die of it, you get out of it, you're going to have like a crazy trip. If you're diving in and out and then you're eating mushrooms and other things in a cave, you're going to go through some crazy fucking shite, homie. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's really, really hard to judge where and when, what shape or form certain people went through in different parts of the existence of going through different things. Let's just go with that and let's crack on.
We saw some of the challenges they faced, like extreme winds and scurvy, caravan looters, and
scurvy.
Even poisonous grass.
They went through scurvy and poisonous grass. What do you think your existence is going to feel like when you go through those things?
That killed their horses. As
killed
time
their
passed,
horses.
And the more he ventured into searching for Agartha, the more he was witnessing things that couldn't be explained. The mystic started.
Wait! You don't know how, like, you going into, like, jungle-like territory, and I'm just using this as an example, or Arctic, desert, or other extreme places. You don't see how that could make your life very, very hard to get into? No, it's totally that God is doing this and they're trying to not get you to experience.
Recording sightings of weird lights and fire that were occurring over their camp, while the entries in his scientific journal were fewer and sparse.
Aurora Borealis.
His esoteric journal became more and more full of visions, stories, and puzzles. There is a belief that as one approaches the entrance of Agartha, their thoughts grow more vague. This is due to the fact that the aura of the city itself begins to enter the mind. This aura is said to be so spiritually potent and physically complex that it cannot be articulated by means of communication that is common to normal humans.
So once again, when you get into certain places in certain ways and shapes and forms, let's say you get into a valley. Let's say you get into a certain place and a fog comes over you. Let's say a mist. Let's say other weather systems. You're going to get confuzzled, right? You're going to not understand where north, south, east, and west is. You're not going to know how to fly your plane. You're not going to know how to drive your vehicle straight on the roadway and other things. You're going to be confuzzled because, unfortunately, human beings are fucking dumb as shit with senses. Like, literally, our senses, the only way that our fucking existence happens, honestly, our consciousness is literally a hallucination. And if you don't believe that, our brain only takes in so much information in a certain way at a certain time. We can only focus in on so much at one time that once we remember it, it's completely confuzzled. Best way to show this is if you have 20 people who witnessed a bank robbery and you ask all 20 people what happened, 15 of them are going to say the wrong thing or something different. Sorry, not the wrong thing because they experienced it differently.
Yeah, and
but because somebody was here, somebody was there, somebody
stories are going to be the same.
But your brain is not going to completely take in all the information properly. Like a lot of times, first-hand witnesses will say there were only 5 shots when there were 7 or 10. There's a lot of times where they don't recall what actually happened properly, where they have video that shows certain things. That's another thing. We do have proof nowadays that first-hand accounts are not actually proper because people's brains click and do weird things. Everything's a hallucination. It's how we are perceiving the world in front of us. I could be drunk, which is what I am right now, and stoned, and I'm perceiving the world differently than somebody who would be sitting here that would be sober. Or if I had 2 other people over here on the sides of me looking into me or looking at something else that's happening, they see the world differently because they're seeing the different portions of, let's say, a football game, a soccer game, a sports ball game. If somebody is 100 feet over here and somebody's 200 feet over there and I'm over here, if you were to ask that person how close they were to getting that goal, there would be different accounts. It's not until you see the footage, the video of the right angle that it shows you that. How many times do you watch a soccer game and you like, yeah, it went in. Oh, and then they show the video and it was fucking 20 feet away from the goal. If it's the right angle and your eyes see the right thing, you think we're not made. I'm going to say this one more time and then we're going to get on for it. We're not made to understand the world in front of us properly. We're only made to make sure that we don't die and that we can keep our existence going on by having children. That's the only thing that animals are made to do, is keep existing and have children. That's the only thing. It does. The rest of our brains, even being this smart, that we're stupid being that existence. So let's track on.
On the other hand, it seemed as though Nicholas was receiving communication from a very powerful being.
Yeah, because that's how that worked.
He started representing a character in his paintings that he thought was the messianic king of Agartha. This was a being who, according to ancient prophecy, was destined to emerge on Earth for the ultimate destruction of the wicked, the renovation of creation, and the
That did never happen. That did never happen. I'm sorry, everybody. But once again, it's one of these things where it's just somebody who decided they're going to be a prophet, which is what happens with all of the incels and all the people that go into schools and shoot them up. They think that they are the arbiters of change. And guess what happened? No change. No change. No change. No change.
Restoration of purity. He began to draw this image obsessively. Nicholas's diary also had descriptions of a flying craft, which was witnessed by 7 members of their crew. This was one of the final occurrences that
There's a gazillion and a half things that happen in the atmosphere, not with other things, and or like the Aurora Borealis. Also, it could have been a meteorite. There could have been a handful of other things. And if you're trying to give yourself some kind of proof of life, or making sure that you have something of your existence and you're not just a nobody, you're going to look for things you're going to try to pick out, and then you're going to try to say, okay, I need that or this. That's what flat earthers are. That's what sovereign citizens are, and a handful of other fucking bullshitters. They're like, no, I'm smarter than everybody else because my life is... Go ahead, dog.
I was going to say, or the simplest explanation is he found fuck all and he did it to appease his sponsors. Like that, what was that, Ron Wyatt, that fucker who put a railway sleeper and aged it and fucked it up and put it on Mount Ararat? That was debunked. What's that other one? Commander, the Flat Earth fucking guy. You can't get to Antarctica, but the commander got over there and he saw a whole new flat earth on the other side through this window. all them fuckers, that it's not like they see things, they're just appeasing their fucking sponsors, I reckon. Here's some money, go and find this hidden thing. There's fuck all here. Or let's say we saw visions and things. Yeah, well, they're all fucking nonsense.
No, it's people fluffing their own egos because their life is so non-existent, or they have no any kind of authority in their life because they live in their mom's trailer park, double wide trailer or whatever, and
also known as Shannon Rev syndrome.
Yeah, and then anyways, we'll talk about that later. No, it's just people just deriving things that, and a lot of it is mental disease, unfortunately, and I wish that in the Americas we had better mental health care, but fuck it, here we are.
Nicholas wrote in his diary, the fact that this incident took place 24 years before the public began to take an interest in UFOs makes it noteworthy. Simply in
That's not noteworthy. What does that mean? There's no connection to that at all, because 24 years ago, just because somebody doesn't recognize something doesn't mean shit, you dumb cunt.
Words.
That is a non sequitur.
On August 5th, something remarkable. We were in our camp in the Kukunar district, not far from the Humboldt chain. In the morning about 9:30, some of our caravans noticed a remarkably big black eagle flying above us. 7 of us.
So what you did is y'all were fucking drinking alcohol, probably smoking something that was close to a marijuana or an opium. You were out hanging out in a place, and you saw something that looked like a bird you've never seen before in a place that you've never been before. Do, 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 do. I mean, obvious. What are we talking about, you twat whistles? Like, where do we even come to this, obviously, at this point in time, other than you are a rich white person that goes, I never saw this before, so it must have been a...
of us began to watch this unusual bird. At this same moment, another of our caravaners remarked, there is something far above the bird, and he shouted in his astonishment. We all saw, in a direction from north to south, something big and shiny reflecting the sun, like a huge oval moving at great speed. Crossing our camp, this thing changed in its direction from south to southwest, and we saw how it disappeared in the intense blue sky.
So, your mom's vagina just arrived in the sky? I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Okay.
That looks very oval.
That looks like very... Anyways. So... let's listen to this cunt shite.
Roerich. After being released in 1928, the Roeriches quietly went home. By all accounts and
Yeah, they
divination, their
quietly went
expedition
home.
was a
Released from
failure.
the
But what
asylum.
if they didn't fail? What if their
They went home and they were like, how can we make money off this? And they eventually came up to this
true
conclusion.
mission of finding Agartha was a success? In such, the American sponsors were apparently so happy about the progress of the expedition that they sent the Roeriches back to the Himalayas for a follow-up expedition between.
So they gave them no proof, but they claimed a bunch of shite, and then they gave them more money to go there to, like, you know what happened? They never went to the Himalayas. They probably went to, like, the most bourgeoisiest, fucking whatever, and they literally just, like, fucked everybody and their mom. You know, like, actually, no, had sex with them for money, or did it just to, like, I'm sure they just literally jizzed money around the town, around the Himalayas, so that they could do this.
Between the years of
Because they
1933
never proved they did this, but they got the money as a grant to do this.
and 1935.
And this is how Elon Musk did all his bullshit. He is a grant writer. If hold on, if you want to make money, learn how to write grants for the governments that you're in. And I don't know how different it is in the Americas than it is in other countries, but one of my friends wrote a grant, and it was important. But one of my friends wrote a grant to go into the middle of the desert to go record the migration process of a certain tortoise because it was an endangered species. And they gave us $10,000 to go and sit in the desert for 2 weeks. Which we recorded it. We totally did what they said. But it was so funny. We're just sitting here in tents, just going like, we're making like so much money doing this. It's stupid. And that's what Elon Musk does. He writes grants to get all the, he makes $8 million a day from his grants, from his government grants, from SpaceX and all the other.
No.
What?
Elon
Wait. Tell
is
me I'm
currently
wrong.
Losing money.
well, hold on. So
He
what
is
you're
making
saying,
money,
hold
but
on.
Everyone else is losing money.
Hold on. Brainless, what you're saying is, so he is every single day making $8 million from the government, but he's being sued so much, and he's losing.
No, his net worth is
I'm saying
his Tesla and SpaceX stock and Twitter, and those are going down. I believe SpaceX not as much, but Tesla and
Tesla.
Hold on.
Are plummeting.
Hold on, that's what I'm saying, bro. Is he gets $8 million a day from the government, but everything else is tanking. He's literally losing money. So supposedly he is going to be bankrupt soon, but we'll see. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Wow,
Let's watch more of this.
His net worth is still
Brainless.
324 billion.
I know. Until his 13 baby mamas take all his money. But we'll talk about that later, which is Wednesday, and we're going to talk about that or Thursday.
Yeah.
But let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Then we also have to talk about the fact that Donald actually admitted that the elections were rigged.
And he said that Elon is actually a part of Doge, which they were pretending to not be. So now there's a conflict of interest and a handful of other things. So hopefully this explodes in their direction. But we'll see. But anyways, let's crack on. I need to use the loo, so I'm going to play this for just 20 seconds or so, whatever, and then I will be right back.
Which begs the question, why would they sponsor them again if the original mission was a failure? Heck, President Franklin D. Roosevelt of the United States of America signed off this mission, and Henry A. Wallace, the Secretary of Agriculture, who would later become the Vice President, provided the funding for it. Not only that, Wallace referred to Nicholas Roerich as his guru. This established the Roerich family's first direct connection to the government of Franklin Roosevelt. This was no longer a theory, but now a fact. Now, this is where things start getting a bit suspicious. In the midst of the Himalayan highlands, during their second excursion, the Roerich vanished again, this time for a period of 3 months, and there was no trace of their activity. Then they resurfaced with nothing. Yet, despite being a failure, this was the period that President Roosevelt himself signed the Roerich Pact in 1935, marking their second direct connection to the Roosevelt government. Why would he do that, naming a pack after Nicholas? For those who don't know, the Roerich Pact is a treaty on the protection of artistic and scientific institutions and historic monuments. One of the most significant aspects of the Roerich Pact is the legal recognition that the defense of cultural objects is more important than the use or destruction of that culture for military objectives. Furthermore, the Roerich Pact stipulates that the protection of culture always takes precedent over any military necessity. Basically, what this means is that any cultural thing found will be left as such. There's no melting of a Buddha statue to make bullets or using it as a shield. This is a good treaty and plan, as it preserves culture from being destroyed. But don't you think it's a hell of a coincidence that it was when Roerich reappeared that this treaty was signed? Kind of like he saw something so magnificent yet dangerous that if left to man, could bring destruction to a scale never seen before. All these could mean Nicholas found Agartha. He found it, and knowing how the world was, especially after World War I, he probably did everything he could to prevent the resources of Agartha from being used for evil. In such, scholars of modern Russia and early 20th century history have written at great length on how deeply invested the Russian government was regarding the possible resources held by Agartha. These mystical weapons and resources became of considerable interest to the growing world powers, including Russia, Britain, Germany, and the United States.
Yeah, that's how that works.
This prophecy was taken literally by a number of influential officials, including the now Vice President of the United States, Henry A. Wallace. And from Russia, we have...
Yeah, no, he was not drunk in a bar when he was thinking about that. No, he totally was sober when this happened. That's totally when he was sober.
He wasn't drunk, Slim. He done all the drugs.
He was on all of the drugs. Yeah, totally. He was on all of it when that happened. Okay, let's track on.
Wallace. And from Russia, we have Gleb Boki, the head of the Soviet secret police, a man who was obsessed with occultism and, in particular, the supernatural aspects of Buddhism.
Yeah.
Boki personally had traversed the Himalayan peaks in search of Agartha, but failed to find it. He had also...
Why did that happen? I mean, obviously, because it's not fucking real, you twat.
A large-scale expedition to find the Hidden Kingdom, which also failed. In addition...
Just like with all what the Nazis did. They were trying to find fucking everything. They were trying to find the fucking Ark of the Covenant. They were trying to find everything so that they could use that. You want to know why that all happened? You want to know why that all happened? And I'm going to give it away. I'm going to spill the beans. And I'm going to say this. And let's get canceled for it. Although it's not. That's not how this works. His personal doctor was shooting him up with meth every morning. You want to know what makes you feel like the fucking psychic world, the fucking woo world is real? Take some meth, brah. Don't do it. No, don't take meth. But no, that's what makes you believe in that bullshit. Like, I said this the other day, not on stream. I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know. When I was 25 years old, before I was 25 years old, let's put it that way. Dude, I was into everything. I was like, yeah, the Earth's flat and blah. And then I got clean off of meth. And I got clean off of hard drugs. And then went, dude, Jesus Christ. Obviously, dumb shit. I mean, I didn't believe in God at the time, but I was like, yeah, man, like, I believed in all the crazy conspiracy bullshit, 9/11. Like,
I just want that statement clipped. I used to believe in flat Earth and God and all that. Then I got off, man.
Somebody clip that. Somebody clip it. Come on. Somebody clip it, and eventually I could do it
dog,
too.
you go clip
but please clip it. Somebody clip it. I'm sure somebody will and send it to us. But no, like I used to believe in all the woo stuff. You know, if you put a crystal up your arsehole while you like bend over and like put it in the sun for like 2 minutes, then you're gonna recharge your energy and you don't got to take vitamin C anymore or some dumb shit. You know, I used to believe in all that dumb crap. Then I got off the drugs and I was like, yeah, I get it. No, that's not how this world works. That's not how any of this world works. And I also started working for the news organization and then other things where I was like, okay, yeah, I can't not believe in fake crap because I actually can do research. And back in the day, it was really hard to do research because I was telling somebody today, before there was the interwebs, you had to go to a library and you had to look up things. You had to actually go to news resources and get a FOIA request. You had to do a handful. You had to do a lot of legwork back in the day to actually news report, even if you had the credentials, which I have had. I did it only for 6 months. I had the credentials to be a news reporter. Okay. Working for the news organization that I did. That's why I know the difference between a frauditor, what they call themselves as auditors, and a person who works for an actual news organization. I actually worked for news organizations, and I would walk around and I had passes and I could get into places because my company would get me those news passes because I actually had credentials. There's difference between not having credentials and having anyways, let's crack on. I obviously should not have to say that to our crowd, but let's crack on with this.
Boki had operated a secret Soviet laboratory where Buddhist spiritual techniques were experimented with in an effort to create the ideal communist human being. Gleb Boki had a strong interest in discovering the hidden kingdom in order to
Again, this is fucking fake as shit if you don't understand this. And once again, I pause way too much, but this is fucking bull beep.
Acquire the knowledge, technology, and magical weaponry that it contained. He intended to repurpose these resources for the purpose of achieving its goal of dominating the globe and achieving glory for the newly founded Soviet Union. This man was also said to be heavily involved with the Rorich and spied on them. Now, I understand some of you might already have criticism of the Rorich, especially...
You're telling me the whitest people that we've ever seen, and this guy looks like a goddamn goblin. This guy looks like the fucking most stereotypical fucking racist I've ever seen. And then she is white as crap and looks like the most Victorian. You're telling me these people didn't fuck over
Dracula?
No, they all look like Dracula. Well, he looks like Dracula. But anyways, you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me these people are not the ones that are the arbiters of fucking over people that aren't white? Shut the fuck up.
Especially as they were known as mystics. Heck, the idea to find Agartha was given to them through a psychic meditation medium. So,
and once again, like if you don't understand where I'm springboarding off of, we're talking about ancient aliens, which means that ancient people are not the ones who actually built the things. It is the white race that somehow did, or aliens did it before, and then the white race had sex with them, and now these people are the DNA upholders of the white alien race. Let's put it that way.
I understand your skepticism, which is why this next person's story sounds more convincing. I'm talking about none other.
And did he look like a fucking a new? I'm gonna say Neo, but a new. Anyways, let's crack on and let's listen, and then we will all get to the same place where I have been
Admiral
to.
Richard E. Byrd. Admiral Richard E.
Oh well, he wasn't racist per se, but he did a lot of weird. He said a lot of weird things, right?
That was his name, Admiral Byrd of Flatheart.
So okay. So let's do this. Let's do this really quick. Technically, he was not a flat earther per se. And we did a lot of things. what happened was it his son or his nephew? I think it was his nephew, right? Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. That made up fake diaries of his that said that they went into intermo Earths and that the Earth was flat and things and stuff. I believe it was one of his family members that actually
I believe
used
it was his son.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. And anybody else approve? Sure. I think it was his son, right? That made the fake second diaries or some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Of that, right? Was that what it was? It was something like that.
Something like that.
The first diaries is of him talking about going to Antarctica, getting to certain places, and then it stopped. And then there was a second version of it where supposedly did his son say he was there, Brainless?
I'm not completely sure.
Okay. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Then there was the second version of the diaries that were put out that his son was selling. And let me put, I hope that you're saying that his son was supposedly there, because I think that is and obviously ancient, obviously Ivy, that's for sure. Ancient Aliens is fucking stupid as crap. But anyways, so let's crack on with more of this, and I think we all know what we're talking about as of right now, right? It's the dumb cunts that, it's his son that said this and that, and then we're gonna get into this, and we'll get in. I'm gonna skip around in just a second because we're an hour 30 into it, so.
Was one of the most decorated officers in the U.S. Navy. He is the only person in history to have 3 ticker tape parades in New York City, one in 1926, 1927, and 1930, given in his honor. He was also one of only 4 American military officers in history entitled
him saying a caption saying, "Where's Slim's dungeon at?" That's all I had to say. That he had the gimp hat on. He had the fucking big long fucking tool needed to get in.
Who doesn't know where my dungeon's at? Where, what?
He had the pleasuring stick and the fatigues needed. Sorry, I just
waffling. Faroe Islands road trip. Would you like me to show that now, Ivy, or let me know? Let me try to figure out, maybe see what we're talking about. Okay. If you'd like me to show that, just let me know. Let's crack on.
Entitled to wear a medal with his own image on it. When it comes to accomplishments, authenticity, and awards, there is no one like Richard E. Byrd. But what Byrd was mostly known for was his expeditions. He explored places no one wanted to go. To put it another way, Byrd's goal was to constantly be the first in everything. The fact that he had so many first awards associated with him may be due to the fact that it was something he thought of as an obsession. For example, at the age of just 41, he became the first and youngest admiral in existence. Now, this is like a portfolio to show you how logical and pragmatic this person was, and yet even he encountered something that he couldn't explain. Admiral Richard Byrd came into contact with the Agarthans during a mission in Antarctica. PDFs of his secret diary have been circulating for the last few years.
Wait, PDFs? So somebody wait. So that means somebody downloaded these and then
somebody
put them
scanned it and
it downloaded in the fucking 20s.
Yeah, but instead of hold on. But instead of digitizing them, they did all this scrolling into this that made all these weird things. Yeah, why did we not upgrade this? Why did somebody not make this so that it actually was a thing? Oh, because it's fucking fake. Anyways, just crack on. I mean, this is obviously fake. Go ahead.
I was going to say the PDF, but the way you suggested it was that it was uploaded in 1888 or something. Why didn't we see it then?
That's what I'm saying. And then why is it not upgraded into a thingies of the Revolvers or something? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, let's crack on.
Got it as a PDF, then that's a decent file format.
But look at how
I think for documents, that's still the best you can get.
No, but look at how they did this. Look at all these writings. They didn't upload it in the proper format. They didn't make it into a. Anyways, struck on.
Imagine how shit Windows 1888 was.
They just scanned it and it's just a copy of the original.
Yeah, that's what your mom said last night. Anyways, okay, no, but I know, but it's really hard to read this, and who's gonna look at it? Anyways, let's crack on.
Which allegedly recorded his encounters in early 1947.
69.
Bird was in Antarctica at the time for Operation High Jump, which was the establishment of an American research base. As Bird was flying over the icy environment, his instruments began to malfunction, and at first, he was worried that his plane might crash. But somehow, the plane was moving on its own. Not only that, he saw a green forest among the snowy mountain ranges.
Somehow
he turned on the autopilot.
And
Antarctica got green.
Wait, so somehow a plane hovering over a weather system that could have been pushing them up by wind could have made it so that you did something that was a little bit different than you thought it was going to be before or something, right? So fuck you. This is the silliest little... Anyways, crack on.
Ranges. One moment, the place is covered in ice and snow, and the next, he sees a beautiful place, lush in green, beautiful forest.
So you don't know how weather systems work. That's totally awesome. I get it. You don't know how valleys work, and you don't know how mountains work, and how other weather systems work in different places. It's fucking insane that where I live right now, I live on the side of the Rocky Mountains. Oh, sorry. That way. We live in a pocket across the I-25 from me, and I live like 10 miles away or 20 miles away maybe from Wyoming. There's tornadoes that happen on the other side of my freeway here, I-25, and there are weather systems that only happen in the Rocky Mountains 10 miles away from me. We live in a pocket to where we don't get all the crazy weather systems normally because we live in this little pocket. That's how the world works, dumbass. Things don't just appear everywhere. If it rains somewhere in the world, on the flat earth, it doesn't rain everywhere, dumbass. If it snows everywhere, it doesn't. Do you understand? Every couple miles, it can be a different weather system in a lot of different places. If we're talking about valleys, mountains, hills, plains, places where they're growing things, trees, fruits, vineyards, and a handful of other things. Everything can change the weather systems very, very quickly. But no, you flat earthers and all of you fucking dumb cunts that think that you know everything, you know how this world works because you're smarter than all of the scientists. Okay, I'm sorry, let's crack on.
Forests all around. Suddenly, his radio was hijacked by people he didn't know. These Agarthan super beings controlled his radio, speaking to him.
Yeah.
Agarthan super beings.
Wait, so you literally just told me that you were using a radio system in a place where people don't speak the language you speak?
Well, people don't live in Antarctica.
Yeah.
There's literally small pockets of things in the Mabobbers, even back then. But most likely, they would have been speaking Inuit and a handful of other things.
So that is North Pole, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Sure, but anyways.
There's no cunts living there except Commander and Amigonauts and the rest of the penguins.
Hold on. There's gotta be people that are doing experiments and doing things from other countries. Let's please just give me that. Let's just say what? Wait. What? Do you not think that if this helicopter was there, that other people wouldn't be there trying to do experiments?
Not when he lived there in the 30s or whatever it was.
You really think that? Oh, anyways, fuck it. Whatever. Let's just say that nobody was there, but if they were trying to do radio wave things, do you think that they fucking found aliens, or do you think they found another culture that was on the earth that they were fucking getting into? That's what I'm getting at, dumbasses.
I honestly think they found fuck all.
Yeah.
Sure, but again, what do you think happened? Aliens or
I think that, maybe.
No, I honestly think there's an aboriginal culture somewhere or some kind of thing they tapped into. I feel they found some radio wave of somebody talking in a way they didn't understand. That's the best way, because they said they thought they heard somebody talking in dialects, and it wasn't beep boop bop 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 boop ba ba ba, and that's what they said. They said they thought they heard somebody talking in a language they never heard. I think that somehow they tapped into somebody doing that. Maybe okay. This is what happened. Oh my god, this is what happened. There are ships that go around all of these thingies of the mobobbers, right? They're the crabbers. If you look at fucking, what's it called? The fucking TV show. Whatever, shrimping. The fucking crabbers. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they could have picked up a crabber?
I don't know.
I could be wrong. I don't know, and I don't care.
Well,
what do you think happened?
Fun fact.
Yeah,
if the
sure.
conditions are right, they could have picked up somebody from the Netherlands. Like if I turn on a CB here, and it's kind of sunny, and like the conditions are pretty good, I can hear Merkins.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Fucking CB.
That's what I'm saying. What do you think is most likely? They picked up fucking aliens, or they found a way to pick up a signal from humans? It's mostly. Go ahead, dog.
Maybe all this is bollocks, and they're telling us that what he said, and he didn't hear fuck all. He just made it up.
Well, we have people that have shown us what they heard, and we hear the signals, and we're not going over that. But thank you, dog, for being the fucking arsehole of the stream, as always.
As they also controlled his plane. They made him land and invited him into the subterranean city.
Bam, chicka, bam, and they spent 10 years there, even though he doesn't have any proof of being gone that long. And actually, he was gone 6 years, but he's going to
described the city as a vast metropolis, glittering with rainbow colors, too beautiful and wondrous to describe. And
yeah, that's what happens when you take that much mushrooms, dumbass.
Formed of a crystal-like substance. He was taken to their leader, who was known as the Master, and as they talked, he revealed some shocking truths. Remember how earlier I said that the ruler of Agartha is usually known as Master? Anyway, let's just say it's another coincidence.
What's a coincidence? There's a lot of people that have been called Master, or they're going to say that through whatever, but let's crack on with this, even though, once again, it was his son that wrote this down.
Master let Bird go back to warn people on the surface about the war that had been going on, and if we were to keep fighting, there would be no planet for every and any species to live in. The Hiroshima bombing was a wake-up call that scared everyone. I went into detail on the total...
So why did the aliens not come out of their Agarthian thing and come up and actually tell us? They had to do it through Admiral Byrd, which didn't happen, which, again... is the second diaries of him that his son wrote, and we have proof of that. And so this is all bollocks.
Experience of Admiral Byrd in this...
But dog believes in it.
...video, and you should totally check it out. Byrd was shocked and amazed. When he came back and gave his report to his superiors, he was...
Damn, bro! Look at how fucking wrapped up y'all are. If it was, they're in California. They're just pretending that they're in wherever. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Ordered to never speak about his experience again to anyone, and he never did.
Yeah, it's a depressing
such,
title.
how we
The
know about this story
Master.
is that he wrote about
Why would it not should be Master? It's the Master. And once again, why is it written out this way and we still not translate into the digital? And that's what proves it's fucking fake.
his experience on his deathbed. So either way, it didn't matter if he talked.
And no, this was not the things on his deathbed. This was not his stuff. Once again, he had a first version of his memoirs or his diary. I guess I don't know what's the other word for diary that's not feminine, but it doesn't matter. Journal. He journaled all of this, and then once he died, then all of these weird extra things came into play, and then all of a sudden there was a second version that came up as well, and then somehow his son made like stupid amounts of money saying this stuff was, and I believe he went on tour in different places to talk about as seminars that there was this stuff that was propagating young earth creationism and a handful of other things, I believe, if I'm remembering that right. If not, somebody prove me wrong. And I'm not saying that because I'm being a dick. But if I get things wrong, please somebody tell me that I did. But I believe that's what the purpose of it. Well, no, but that's the whole thing about what his son was doing about making the new journals and saying that this was the new things. And then I think his son wrote a book or something. I don't know. I don't remember 100%.
He edited the original PDF.
Yeah, because that's what there was before these journals. Totally. Yeah.
To die soon, but the world needed to know what he saw. And here's the kicker. His son also mysteriously died.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God, somebody died while something happened. Oh my God, in the 1930s, people died?
Just when he was about to add more provable fuel to the fire of this conspiracy. Again, watch this video as I did a deep dive into it, which I can't go into here to avoid making this video longer than it should be. Now,
nothing has to do with 1930s. Whatever he just showed, dude, go back and look at it slowly. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Whoever made this video is goddamn a motherfucking fascist.
Now, aside from Admiral Byrd and the Roerich's experiences, another reason why people believe in Agartha is due to one theory, which weirdly enough is founded in science.
And like mainly, this is one of the things about... I can't believe we have to go over this again and again. One of the main things about people that believe in ancient aliens and the inner earth and that there's like aliens that have taken over the stuff is because they can't believe that like brown and black people have helped the existence of the earth. And that's why just like 10 milliseconds ago, they went over the 1930s for no reason, saying that that's the reason that there can't be other civilizations that contributed to building the history and or the technology of the earth. If you didn't get that. But let's crack on.
Provided with facts and data, the hollow earth theory.
The only reason you need this to be a thing is because you think that the white people have the best DNA and they're going to be. And if you don't know what I'm getting at, and we've already talked about this a gazillion times, we'll get it. They're going to show themselves in just a second or 5 or 69 seconds.
The notion that the earth is hollow is not a new one. Heck, even Dante portrayed the planet this way in his Inferno poem, or the Divine Comedy in the 14th century. Scholars from the 16th century onward thought the Earth had a hollow shell with layers containing various atmospheres,
and why do we think
and even
that?
A miniature sun at its core. The hollow Earth theory has a long and illustrious history, dating back to the 17th.
Why are all of our planets inside of the Hollow Earth. But let's truck on, because we're gonna get there slowly, and I hate doing this again and again.
Century, when it was advocated by some of the most prominent scientific minds of the day, including Edmund Halley, Leonard Euler, and Sir John Leslie.
Who knows who any of those fuckers are? I don't honestly know.
Edmund Halley was an astronomer.
Okay, sure. But anyways, I mean, what is
Halley's
any
Comet?
of this doing? Yeah, it's all the kind stuff, which the Kinder Egg. Okay, sorry. But anyways, this is fucking hilariously
These
stupid.
brilliant scientists based their hypothesis on anomalies in the magnetic field, gravitational pull, and polar explorations of the Earth, which suggested that the Earth might not be a solid sphere as we once.
Until now, we have modern versions of things where we can tell, like, do we know 100%? I am not going to say we know 100% what all of the layers are of the Earths, but do you not think at this point in time we have a very, very good understanding of what those layers are? I mean, at this point in time, we should be closer than we were when these idiots say that we know about the fucking Tartarians.
Thought, but a hollow one with a massive void inside. These are various.
I mean, if I knew that the Earth had this big of a hole, I would have tried to fuck it already.
Facts and data that could prove the validity of
trying
the
to
hollow
fucking-
Earth theory. For example, on average, the thickness of the Earth's crust is only approximately 40 kilometers, and it accounts for less than 1% of the total volume.
And because they're speaking in like American English, they're saying kilometers because they're trying to confuzzle the dumbasses that don't know the difference between miles and kilometers and or feet and other things. And that's why they said that.
Of the planet.
Honestly.
The rest of the planet mainly comprises of molten rock and metal, which science needs to understand better to even make some assumptions. Pockets or layers of solid matter within the Earth's interior have shown that they could host unknown life forms, or in this case,
Wait. Go ahead, dog, before I fucking
Nothing.
even.
I mean, the guy just showed a magnetic field, then he showed a gravitational field, and now he's trying to say the Earth is hollow, which is, you know,
Hey, reader, nope.
Proven,
Nope.
then proven fucking facts.
Everybody
Why
say
even
hello
show
to
that?
reader. Hold on. Everybody say
Hi,
hello to
reader.
Hey,
reader.
reader.
Okay, so the thing about it is, yeah, totally. And once again, now this twat whistle is also trying to say that there should be existence that can exist inside this layer because it is a thing. But do we have proof of that? Fuck no. What we're talking about is the external layers of the Earths. But these cunts want to say, oh, well, we can't prove that, but we did this and we did that. But then now there could be inside of this molten layer a existence of your mom's vagina. I don't know. I mean, when I make your mom's vagina this hot and wet, I know it does drip, but that does not prove that that's the inside of the planet.
civilizations if need
I'm
be.
sorry that I pulled it that far.
And this is just from the quote-unquote surface. One of the best physical examples of this is the Kola Super Deep Borehole. Currently, the Kola
and it goes really far down. What are they going to say? I'm just going to say it now, and I have not watched this whole thing. They're going to say they heard demons and stuff. You want to know what happens when you go really far deep into certain things, and or you go poke yourself into certain areas, and you try to take close-up mic audio of stuff? It sounds really weird. If you like go into any rock, if you poke yourself into any weird natural existence, natural place, like a rock, sediment, and other things, it's going to sound really weird if you don't understand how audio works. And we'll talk about it as soon as I can.
super deep borehole holds the record for the deepest artificial hole dug on the surface of Earth.
And they're gonna cry about how it sounded weird.
It was a project done by the Russians, and it was dug as far as 8 miles, or 14.4 kilometers. For a majority of people who do not have a complete comprehension of how deep and wide this hole is, the Kola Super Deep is so deep
that has nothing to do with anything they're about to pull out of our soul that I know about.
That both Mount Everest and Mount Fuji combined can fit in it well, or the entire Mariana Trench. We also did a
So that actually disproves the flat Earth, you twats.
deep dive video on the Kola Super Deep, and you can
But
watch
they're gonna talk about the fucking sounds that come out of it. That's gonna be the next thing. I know it, and I didn't pre-watch this, but I know that's gonna be the next
Schitt as well. Here's the crazy thing about Kola Super Deep. Despite its very impressive depth, it turned out that the scientists
That's what your mom said last night.
only scratched the surface. They didn't even pass the first layer of Earth's structure. This project took more than 20 years, but the scientists and engineers only scratched the surface with all the equipment and technology they had.
And there's a reason why that happened.
You moron.
Yeah, exactly. That's why this happened.
Here's another weird thing they figured out. Life can exist even down there. Northwestern University scientists discovered that...
Okay, whatever. Yeah. Okay, we'll just go a little bit more with this, but yeah. God damn.
1.5% of the rocks they studied were made of mantle material, which is derived from volcanoes. Additional research led them to the realization that the amount of water that is beneath the crust of the Earth is 3 times greater than the amount of water that is found in all the oceans of the world. The pressure and temperature down there is quite...
I love how they do this for us proving Agartha and stuff, which doesn't mean anything. Let's get back to this bullshit
granting
for just
access to a warm and rich land stocked with thrifty vegetables and animals, if not men. In his telling, these Sims holes spanned thousands of miles and curved so...
Okay. There's nothing else that we're going to find from this bullshit. Like, they literally... We're at the end of the idiocracy they're going to show us. So everybody, please make sure you like, subscribe, share with other people, watch this over and over again and laugh at it. And we will see you tomorrow. Let's see, what are we doing tomorrow? I have no idea.
Out of interest, how far did we get through that video?
We got 3/4, I think. Almost through it.
That's got to be a fucking world record for us, isn't it?
It probably. But the thing is, they totally were just going to say the same thing over and over again. They were not learning anything. So, let's crack on. Thank you all very much for being here. Tomorrow we're going to be doing another stream. Same freak time, same freak channel. Thank you very much for being here. Please make sure that you are subscribed. I'm sure you all are. And that you hit the bell notifications. Share with your friends and tell them all about that. And watch again and again and other things. And we have lots of things you can watch. Please give us the likes and stuff. We almost have gotten to our thingies of the mobbers. So if you want to be a subscriber, it's only $2 a month. Be a member. Yeah, that's different. A member, $2 a month to be a member, and then you get to do all the cute little fun stuff with all the emojis that I have made. And anyways, thank you all very much for being here. Yes. All right, folks. Thank you very much. God damn you, brainless. All right, folks. Thank you very much. We're gonna get the fuck out of here, and we'll see y'all later, and we'll talk about all the stupid shit in the future. So, everybody, thank you very much. Bye. Everybody say bye.
Good night, sexy people. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now we're gonna get the fuck out of here.